So, hi guys. I am going to teach you how to cast a circle, and I am going to teach you how to call in your guides. As these are some of the first beginnings of magic that you should know how to do. So, first off, let's talk about the circle. All right, with your circle, you've got earth, fire, water, and air, and then you have spirit. You have the five elements. And when you're calling in your circle, um, for basics, you just want to make sure that you're calling in all five elements. A lot of people start with earth, and then they'll cross down to fire, and then they'll cross over to air and water. So always remember water, west, air is east, earth is north, and fire is south. Um, Best way to remember water is west, W, W. Um, Air is east. That just kind of, fire is south. Fire is not bad, but if you think about it, like when there's a fire, things can go south very quickly. And north, is stability. It's good. That's earth. So, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have something that represents each of these elements. A lot of people will use a salt or an earth that is sacred, and they'll use that as their representation of earth. I have a little egg that I keep salt in, and that's how I represent earth. So I use that, and I sprinkle a little salt when I do my circle. I use water in a shell to represent water, and then I actually dump water in it. Fire, I have a candle, and then for air, I always use a feather. So I would go, I call upon the powers of earth. I'd sprinkle my earth. I call upon the power of fire. I'd circle my fire. I call upon the power of air, and then I'd move my feather. Call upon the power of water. I sprinkle my water, and I call upon the power of spirit. Now, for spirit, you can use any number of things. You can use a candle that you dictate. I like to use sage because sage represents, kind of a cleansing of negativity and things like that. Um, so then you have now just evoked the elements. You've called them into your circle. Um, Next is you're going to call in your guides. When you're going to call in your guides, if you don't know what guides you're working with that are your personal guides, if you have a god or goddess, a lord or lady that you prefer to work with, an angel, an archangel, hell, if you're into demons, if you have a specific demon that you want to use, feel free to use their name. If you don't know yet who you want to work with, then you can say, I ask the universe to deliver my guides to me, to aid me in, or I ask my guides to come and join me in my circle and help me make my magic fruititious. Um, Anything along those lines. If you don't have a specific name, anything invoking the universe's designated guides for you. So I ask the divine to lend me its energy and provide me with my guides while I perform my spell work this evening. Um, and then when you're done, you want to be sure to thank everything and release it. So I thank you, fire. I release you. I thank you, earth, I release you. I thank you, air, I release you. I thank you, water, I release you. I thank you, spirit, I release you. I thank you, my guides, for joining me today and aiding me in my work. And then you want to close out your circle by making sure that you clean everything up appropriately. Any wax drippings that you have, you don't want to throw them out. You want to compile them personally. I keep them all and then I turn them into another candle. Or if you are going to not do that, then you should probably bury them. return them to the earth. You don't want to just throw them out. You want to honor them because they were part of a ritual. Um, you want to make sure that all your ritual supplies are put up and put back where they belong. You want to thank the things that aided you in your magic workings and in your ritual time. Um, so make sure that you are honoring the elements and honoring your guides when you call them in and you release them. You do this simply by a thank you. You don't have to do a huge ritual of I give you an elderberry cake. You can do that if that's what you're being led to do. But you can also simply say, I ask for your guidance. I thank you for you joining me here and providing me with your guidance. And you've done the basics. Some people get very in depth with honoring their guides or honoring the elements, and you don't have to, you can. Those are things you guys can ask me and we can go into more depth about, but I try to keep it pretty simple because the more in depth the ritual, the more energy it takes, not only in setting up, but also breaking down. And if you forget a step, it can throw the whole thing off. So sometimes simpler really is better, especially when you're dealing with magic and deities and energies that can become insulted sometimes rather quickly. So I really hope that this helped you. It's a short 7 minute hairs out of cast a circle. One of these days, I will actually do a circle casting with you and show you exactly how I do it. And that way, you have a visual to go along with this. So, bright blessings, shadow kisses, and I hope this helps.